Tensions ran high in Parliament today as National Director of Public Prosecutions Advocate Shamila Batohi faced a grilling from the ad hoc committee. What started as a standard briefing quickly turned into a heated confrontation, with MPs from across the political spectrum demanding answers she simply refused to give.
If it's the same person who was mentioned in the media, why not revealing it here?
For various reasons, you never know how people are put at risk. I mean,
she was suggesting we must just go home if she's going to proceed like that.
There are rogue sections within the NPA.
We are undermining our intelligence.
Senior NPA prosecutor has been linked to organized criminal networks. According to Batohi, both National Commissioner Fanima Semola and Crime Intelligence Head General Kumalo raised the alarm about this prosecutor. She told the committee that she took the matter seriously and escalated it all the way to the Minister of Justice and even to the President himself. When the MPs asked her to name the prosecutor, that's when things got intense. MK Party MP David Skosana pressed her to reveal the name.
I don't think it's right, Advocate. Because where do we draw the line? When things are genuine or are not genuine, where do we draw the line? Because this committee sits here to probe these issues. The allegations which were made by General Mukwanazi. Hence we are here. We are not casting aspersion to anyone. But we want the truth. But if it's an animal farm, names were mentioned here. No one ever complains about names being mentioned here. It's for the first time for me, from hearing from you as a National Director of Public Prosecution.
But Batohi stood her ground, saying the information was not yet sufficient to charge anyone and that the matter was still under investigation.
Chair, I really want to emphasize, honorable members, that I do not seek to be disrespectful to this committee. I haven't even said, the members have mentioned names. I haven't even said whether it is or isn't that name that has been mentioned. And I don't want to make it difficult for this House to be able to do its work. But given that I was given, I think at the level of intelligence, because I haven't even said it's evidence, I went back to the National Commissioner as well as General Kumalo and I said, can you please give me evidence of this? Because I need more evidence. And so I really urge that it will be hugely irresponsible of me to mention a name in this House on the basis of intelligence that I've received that may or may not be true. So I really urge honorable members to understand that I do want to help this House, but I do not want to put people's names at risk. For various reasons, you never know how.
But her refusal didn't sit well with EFF leader Julius Malema. Malema fired back, accusing Batohi of undermining the committee. He said if she refuses to name names, then what's the point of having an inquiry? You are suggesting we should go home, he said, because this committee was created to investigate exactly these kinds of allegations.
There are recourse in South Africa where that name will be cleared. There are so many names of people being said here, people who are also in jail, people who are already on criminal trials. We get deep into those issues because we're seeking to unearth the truth. If it is true, indeed, there are people who are captured in the prosecuting authority. We want to know that. What if Chauke is wrongly accused? What if he's correctly accused? We need to come to a determination that, look, there is nothing in the NPA that suggests there is any infiltration by the drug cartel or anything of that sort. Or there is, and if we say there is, these are the issues. And these are the individuals responsible for those kind of activities in the NPA. So I don't think Honorable Skosana is being irresponsible in that regard. Thanks.
Advocate.
Thank you, Chair. I really want to emphasize, honorable members, that I do not seek to be disrespectful disrespectful to this committee.
ANC member of the committee, Ngola, also weighed in, trying to reassure Batohi that she could safely name the individual, insisting no consequences would follow since it's a parliamentary inquiry. Other members echoed that view, but Batohi held firm.
And part of what has been a modus operandi of this ad hoc chair was that names must be given to the committee so that it is actually assisted in formulating a finding and recommendations. From the evidence of General Kwanazi, whom part of it is what he termed as an intelligence information. So we have been, for example, Chair, General Kwanazi stood in front of this ad hoc committee and said, him and General Kumalo went to the Minister of Police to brief him that General Sbiya is a rogue element within SAPS in terms of intelligence information. So I'm trying to display, Chair, that this is not the first time we're dealing with a situation of this matter. And I'm trying to make the NTPP comfortable to mention the name of the person that she's referring to. It is not certain.
She cited internal NPA policy, saying that revealing the name in public would violate that policy and potentially destroy a person's life. Chairperson Lekganyane wasn't convinced. He reminded her that the prosecutor in question is already on suspension, asking, "What's stopping you from naming them?" Batohi replied that revealing the nature of the suspension would automatically expose the person's identity. The chairperson then reminded Batohi of her oath of office, that she serves in a public office and must account to Parliament, especially when a suspended public servant is involved. But Batohi would not budge. As members continued to argue the point, the room grew increasingly tense. MK parties David Skosana and others accused Batohi of protecting individuals inside the NPA, while EFF members said her refusal was a clear act of defiance against Parliament.
Others, their livelihood because of the NPA. Some are still being prosecutors, for many years. Their cases are still in court. But we are going to come to those questions to you at a later stage. But for now, it was only about the name. Because the media has made those names. But we don't want to rely on the media because we are here. We don't want to have others.
People must know that she's got a duty to protect this country more than individuals. You can't say, I want to protect individual because of their rights and all of that. A rotten NPA, it's very dangerous to our constitutional democracy she speaks about. A rotten NPA is dangerous to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. So you cannot protect an individual over the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Just her failure to respond to this question, she must take a bag and go. She's not going to be useful to us. We are asking names. That's why we are here. We are told there are people who kept people is names. Who are those people? We want names of drug cartels. We want names of corrupt police. We want names of corrupt judges. We want names of corrupt prosecutors. That is the whole idea of us being here. So you call a witness, when she left home, she left saying she's going to do what here? She's coming to read a policy statement in an inquiry. Yeah, we even discuss boardroom. We're discussing a pillow talk. Yeah. That's how far we go.
Patriotic Alliance MP Ashley Sauls then stepped in, reminding the committee that similar cases like the so-called Big Five investigations also had names withheld while investigations were ongoing. Sauls proposed that if Batohi cannot name the prosecutor publicly, then the matter should be handled in a closed session. Eventually, the committee agreed that Batohi would seek proper legal advice and return after the break to clarify whether she can legally disclose the name or not. To understand why emotions are running this high, let's rewind a bit. On May 18 this year, the MK party called for Batohi's suspension, echoing growing frustration after the acquittal of Nigerian televangelist Timothy Omotoso and other high-profile cases that collapsed under her leadership.
She has attended many meetings in the Portfolio Committee of Justice and Constitutional Development in Parliament, and she has considered to the fact that she is incompetent to run the office. We asked her about the case of Sindiso Makaka, for instance, which is currently here in Pietermaritzburg High Court. She said she's unaware about the case. She doesn't know what is happening about the case. We asked her recently, 2 days ago, when she appeared in the committee, about the intervention that in terms of Section 22 of the NPA Act, she was supposed to make in order to ensure that they showcase their strength as the NPA to the whole nation and to the whole world on this issue or on this case of Omotoso. And she said she did not do anything.
So, Chairperson, we want to give you an ultimatum of what must happen. We are requesting the Portfolio Committee take a decision and request Advocate Shamila Batohi to step down. And if she refuses to step down, Parliament must initiate her urgent removal. Because not so, the collapse of justice system for GBV cases will be endorsing them, also be endorsing the corruption of prosecutorial ethics and erosion of public faith in the judiciary.
Yeah, no, it's been an unmitigated disaster. I mean, not just the Omotoso case. There was another one last week, I think, a similar, where they were admitting they dropped some cases in the Isma Makashule.
There's also that, but I don't see how that's going to go well.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of cases. These Gupta cases that they've not been able to finalize. Yeah. We are looking for high-end politicians to be convicted in the country. We are not seeing them.
No, but that's the problem. The problem is that the whole thing is so politically motivated. They pursue people, the timing of the prosecutions and,
work in terms of trying to turn the NPA around post-state capture. That these few cases that you mentioned as having been bungled by the NPA, which I disagree with very strongly, there have been setbacks, and I can deal with each one of those cases and explain to you why they were, except in the one matter, in the Omotoso matter, where the prosecutors were criticized and where we are investigating to understand exactly what happened. Apart from that one, I can deal with all of the other matters, and they're less than a dozen, that has actually led to this very, very severe criticism on the NPA. So, in any country where there's such high levels of crime, you do get, people blamed for this. And at this point in time, Shamila Batohi, as the head of the NPA, is being seen as the face of failure. Yeah. But I would urge the public to look at every one of those cases and interrogate.
It means she is not cooperating to an investigation. Because here we're not doing oversight. This is not a justice committee being chaired by Honorable Ngola, where you give annual reports. We're doing an investigation, and names have been tabled before this committee. Names of people who have not even been charged. Just names of people who do not appear before any disciplinary committee. So it means you don't have confidence in this committee. 2, you are undermining our intelligence. What adverse impact is it going to have if you tell us that a person is so and so? There will be no adverse impact other than an impact that is imaginary. We are just imagining that there will be an adverse impact if you mention names. How? So we are going to understand you to be refusing to cooperate with this committee if you refuse to give us names. Yeah, we are investigating, so you can't tell us how we should investigate. We can't be told by you. We have terms of reference. We know what we are doing here. So don't undermine our intelligence. Chair, I'm in support of what Honorable Skosana is saying, that the name must be revealed to help our investigation, to pursue our investigation, because that name might be relevant for us to take a certain posture with regards to this investigation. So you are refusing to give more insight about issues which are affecting our justice system if you refuse to give us a name. And we are not just asking from an ordinary person. You are the NDPP with a statutory responsibility to oversee the running of the NPA. And you come here and refuse to give us names as if it's a choice. It's not a choice. We're investigating you. We're investigating the allegations, I mean. And if we say give us names, unless you are telling us that you are refusing, then we're going to note it as such. We're going to write it down that you are not cooperating with this investigation. Thank you.
Honorable Malimo.
Chair, NDPP must know that she's got a duty to protect this country more than individuals. You can't say, I want to protect individual because of their rights and all of that. A rotten NPA, it's very dangerous to our constitutional democracy she speaks about. A rotten NPA is dangerous to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. So you cannot protect an individual over the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Just her failure to respond to this question, she must take her bag and go. She's not going to be useful to us. We are asking names. That's why we are here. We are told there are people who kept people is names. Who are those people? We want names of drug cartels. We want names of corrupt police. We want names of corrupt judges. We want names of corrupt prosecutors. That is the whole idea of us being here. So you call a witness, when she left home, she left saying she's going to do what here? She's coming to read a policy statement in an inquiry. Yeah, we even discuss boardroom. We're discussing a pillow talk. Yeah. Yeah. That's how far we go. Now we're being told, no, just a name. We can't be given a name of a prosecutor who's suspended. I know that there is a prosecutor called Chauke in Gauteng who's put on a special leave or suspended by the President of the Republic of South Africa. It is the President who communicated that publicly. What is so difficult for an NDPP to refer to such a case and say, for instance, we've got this case that is on, but I can't give details. This is what it involves. A lot of people came here and said so. This is a public information. But to come and say, I won't give you names, even on matters that are public, that is having taken a conscious decision that I'm not going to cooperate with them and I'm going to show them that they can't do anything. She's completely undermining us. To put it mildly, she's undermining us, and she left her home having taken a decision to come and undermine us here. What is so secret about telling us about a public prosecutor of a public prosecution? Everything is public there, except when you are dealing with the case. It says, I will give you a name when a person appears in court.